Welcome to the continuation of our class. In our previous tutorial, we talked about the head, the title, the paragraph, and the headings. Today, we will be um, going into text formatting. How do we format text in HTML? How do we make text bold? How do you make them bold? How do you underline it? How do you make it italics? Now, in this tutorial, we're walking through that. And to continue further, I would like to just make a comment of this. So I'll just Control A to highlight and then Control forward slash. Then it becomes a comment. Yeah, I think we already have a comment in there before. So I can just get right with this and these two. So my comment can start from here to this place, Control forward slash, and here it is. We have a whole bunch of code that's been commented out. Okay, so I'll just like this to go down so I won't get distracted with it. Okay, so we'll create another HTML document, which is same inside the index.html file. So we just have it as a please endeavor to type as I am typing right now, so that you get used to it. So HTML, and inside HTML we have the head, and today we have the title, and have our title to be text formatting, and can go straight into body, and this is the num. I hope we'll not forget this. So I'll be making use of the previous elements that we've learned with the new ones too. Okay, so now we we are just going to start up with something. So I'll say h1, and I'll say welcome user, and that's the h1. Now in the paragraph, now creating a paragraph, you are logged in to the application. Okay, that's for the paragraph. So now let's say I want to make the username here. I want to make it bold. How will I do that? Now I can make this bold by adding b. This is b. B is for bold. Now something you want to get is this: for every opening tag there must be a closing tag in most cases, except in some elements. But anytime you are putting in an element inside another element, you want to be very careful to make sure it is properly nested. Now it is called nesting. That means you're putting one element inside the other. Now here I have h1 welcome user. So when you see it, this element, the b element, is inside the h1, so it has to be closed inside, and then eventually you close the h1 also. So let me just save this, and let me go to the page. So this is the page here. I can reload the page. Now this is welcome user. In most times you never see the difference. Why? Because the h1 has the property of bold already, and it's bigger. So how do we make this very visible? Okay, maybe what we'll do is we change it from user. We just make this one user, and you can now say you are logged in to the application as, let's say, as John. Let me say John Doe. Okay, so you get it. So now I can now put b here. If I put b, so automatically what VS Code does for me is it's actually helping me to create the closing tag. So but I want the closing tag uh, now I have it this way, so it is now in a bold space. So when I'm here to check for the text formatting, now you see John Doe is bold. I have it now as bold. So now another thing that actually look very similar, because bold has been here for a long time. Another element that was introduced is strong. So let me just go ahead and say, I'll say P. Um, this text is, so let me just put it inside a strong. Now let's see what happened there. So I'm coming back to my browser and I reload. You see, this is strong and this is strong. So I think much of the difference between them is emphasis based on page reader, based on some page readers. But much of it, bold has been here for a long time, and I think strong was introduced along with HTML5. I think that's. But in most cases, you want to be very plain. You want to use strong, you use strong. And you want to use bold, you use bold. So yeah, of course, people interchange them together. Even personally, I've not been able to decipher what's the difference between those two elements. But of course, they serve the purpose they're there for. Make it bold, add emphasis to a text, and I think I love that. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about right now is I can also go create another paragraph, and I say this text is italics. How do I do that? I just create an high element, and I'll say, okay, let me put it inside this place. This text is italics, and that will be high. And so when I save this, I want to come back here and check it out. Now do you see it's italics, that it's slanted. So next element I want to try to put in, I want to put in T, and this time I'll say this text is emphasized. So I'll put it inside an M, and I'll say emphasized. Do you get that? So let me save it so you see. So if it's emphasized, what's the difference? You see, it's basically the same thing. So I want to believe italics and bold have been here for a long time, and then have been here for a long time. So strong and EM were just newly introduced, I believe. Okay, so um, the next thing I want to try to introduce now is a mark. So let's see what happens when you use a mark. So this text is, I'll put it inside a mark. I'll say marked, and let's see what happened there. I just Control S to save it, and then I'm here to reload. You see that mark is highlighted. So when you use mark, you use to highlight the text. Okay, so um so there's another element called the small element, small. So I would like to use the small element here on the H1, so you see much of the difference. So now I'll just call this small. I'll call the user small. I can clean this one off here, and I'll say user. So let's see. So I just save it, and let me check how it appears here. Now this is it, user. Now basically we may not be able to see much of the difference between them, but there is a serious difference between these and these. And if you want us to just do that in a more plain way that you see, I can get out of it from here. I think the H1 is heavily I think it's heavily formatted. So let me put it in the P. I'll say P. I'll say this text is, so let me put it in a small. I'll say small, and let's see, Control S to save it, and text formatting, and I'm here. Now do you see, you may not be able to actually see much of the difference right now, but this one appears to be bigger than this, because this one appears smaller. So if you increase the font size, you eventually see that. But in our future tutorial, how to we see how to use them properly, so you see the difference yourself. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about now is uh, another element where we can just say, we say P. This text is del. Del is for deleted text. say deleted. Now del, that's del, like for deleted text. And what should the browser do to it? So let's see what the browser does to it. You see, it just said this text is deleted. So I think the text that was deleted appears a bit bolder, and then it is striped. It has a stripe through on it. That means it's not needed. Like it has been removed. Maybe it used to be there, but now it's removed. So now that's why I saying this text is deleted with a single stripe through on it. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to insert a text. But now we are going to use it along with the deleted element. So we say P, we say this text is now, I say deleted, I say deleted. Do you get it? But this is, now there is this element we call ins, that's insert. We call it inserted, that's insert. So when we save it, when you get there, you see, now you see this text is deleted. That means this one is normal, is no longer is not needed anymore, but this is inserted. Do you get that? So this is a new thing. This one used to be there, but this is the new replacement for it now, and it is underlined. Of course, there is a way you underline elements too in HTML. And how do you do that? Like, it's as simple as saying p this text is you, I say underlined. So when I save this, I can come here and load. You see, it is underlined. So much of it, the difference between both sometimes is how you use them and where you use them. But basically, this is for underlined. Okay, so the next element we want to talk about now is something very, very, like, I love it so much because that was my excitement when I started to learn. So when I say I'm going to write this time. I want to write a bold text. I'll say B. I'll say B, and then I'll call it um let me say O. Yeah. Now this is B and it's wrapped in O. So what I want to do is I want to write oxygen. So this script for subscript. Now when you use sub, it's for subscript, and I put 2 here. Don't forget it's a B tag. Then it is wrapped like the sub. The subscript element is wrapped inside the B as a form of nesting. So when I save it and I'm here to reload the page, you see what we get. We get oxygen. That's O2. Wow, I'm very, very excited right now because this used to be the first thing I was trying out today. I want to know how you write oxygen, I want to know how you do some other things. So you basically use subscript for that. You use subscript for it. And then let's say we want to write x raised to power 2. Now we can say bold, use bold, and you write capital X. Now from your imagination, you should have known what this way is going to be. SUP, that is superscript, and I put 2 here. So when I save this, I come to my browser and I reload. You see that? That is oxygen and x raised to power 2. Now something you will have discovered is this: x raised to power 2 is not standing on its own line, and like oxygen is not standing on its own line, and x raised to power 2 is not standing on its own line. Why? Because both of them are inline elements. B is an inline element. You can wrap them easily on a single line. You can make them, you can add them to elements, and they will not take up their whole line. They're just going to be part of the element. They are all inline formatted. So what do you do now? In order to just make them stand on their own line, there is this tag that is called BR. That's BR, and that's it. When you save it, BR means break. Yeah, you see how easy it is. When you load the page and you see you have them each on their home page, each on their own line. You have them each on their own line. So now what you should just understand about this text formatting is that it becomes simpler for you, and I actually like the way it is designed so much that it's memorable. You can easily remember them. Oh, you know, P is for paragraph, you know, I is for italics, you know, EM is for emphasize, you know, mark is for marked, you know, small is for small, you know, D here is for delete, U is for underline. Sub is for subscript. Sub is for superscript. Then this thing becomes easy, becomes very very memorable, and it helps you trying to trying to do a lot of things. You don't have to keep them. You don't have to memorize them. When you keep using them, they come to you naturally. It flows in naturally. So today we've talked about text formatting, formatting text with other inline elements like strong, italics, emphasize, mark, small, delete, underline, insert, superscript, and subscript. So in our next class, I'll be seeing you with something very very exciting, and that is how do you create links. A lot of people want to know how you link from one page to the other. Now we are going to be going straight into that in our next class. So thank you very much for this class. See you in the next class.